We'd like to introduce you to homework number 3, where you'll be looking at genre, grammar, and syntax. Again, we're still under that big question of what it meant, so we're looking at it from a historical perspective. In this homework, we want you to consider the genre and the rules that apply to that genre. We want you to try to analyze the passage of Scripture according to those rules. In other words, how do the rules apply? And then we want you to say something about the grammar, the style, or the content of the particular passage that we're in. Again, we want to analyze the passage according to the genre, and then the technical words, its grammatical, syntactical elements. That is how the grammar and the syntax, how everything fits together, helps us better understand the passage of Scripture. Why do we want to do this? Well, a correct understanding of the meaning of a passage is always based on the rules of the genre of that passage. For example, in Proverbs 22, it's a well-known proverb that people quote often. However, the question is, should we read it as a promise or as a proverb? And again, it's the question of how is wisdom literature to be read? Is it read as a generalization, as a saying? Is it somehow a promise? Obviously, whatever rule you would apply would certainly affect your understanding of the particular passage of Scripture. How do we want you to do this? Well, we want you to determine what the genre is. For our text, it's quite easy. However, this would be something you would do no matter what passage of Scripture you would go to. You would try to consider what kind of rules apply to that. And I would send you to not only Gordon Fee and Doug Stewart's work, nor just the Hendricks work, but Kaiser and Silva in their text, and Stein in his text also have some great overview on the kind of rules. We'll deal with it later in class as well. Then try to apply those rules to your passage. Again, think in terms of the newspaper. You read comics different than you do the front page, so we ought to read prophecy different than we do the Proverbs. We want you to look at the grammar and the syntax. We want you to look for natural divisions in the passage. Look at the sentences and the paragraphing. Here you may have to compare other versions. Look at the verbs. What do you know about the verbs? Are they past tense, present tense, those kinds of things? Look at the connecting kind of words, words like and, but, therefore, yet, still. Think of adjectives and adverbs. Think in terms of pronouns. Is it in the first person, the second person, the third person? And then you go to your commentaries and look and see what the commentators have to say about the grammar of the text. So here's what we want you to do. We want you to determine and state the genre of your passage. We want you to study that grammar, syntax, and style using the exegetical process explanation. We want you to describe 3 significant points based on that grammar. We want you to provide a bibliography. And more specifically, this is what we would like to see. 1 Thessalonians is, tell me the genre. 2, which versions did you read? Circle the ones, and if you have another one, put that down. List the 3 commentaries you read on our passage. I want you to notice differences in punctuation in the various versions that you read. This passage is very critical on that. And then list 3 significant grammatical observations from the text that you and or the commentators have to say about it.